It's Tuesday, June 15th, 2010. This is The Alex Jones Show. My name's Paul Joseph Watson, editor and writer for prisonplanet.com. I'll be sitting in for the first hour while Alex is away, and afterwards we'll have another rebroadcast of the best interviews of the past week or so. As was yesterday, I want to get your calls lined up fairly quickly. We'll go to them at the bottom of the hour, so the studio number is 888-201-2244. That's 888-201-2244. And we're going to get into the latest on the oil spill and how it's being used, as we've documented previously, to push this nightmare green economy that we've seen decimate countries like Spain already, and how Obama is using it to move towards the nationalisation of the oil industry and government takeover of business. Now, we're also going to get into this, quote, new story on this $1 trillion worth of mineral deposits that have been discovered in Afghanistan and debunk it for the pro-war PR stunt that it is. But first I want to get into this video. Everybody's talking about it. This confrontation between this Democratic congressman, Bob Etheridge, and these two college kids, and you've probably already seen the video. It's on prisonplanet.com for those of you who haven't, but you can barely avoid it over the past 24 hours. And basically it shows this Democratic congressman, Etheridge, walking down the street after a Pelosi speech, and he's confronted by these two college kids who merely ask him if he supports the Obama agenda. And now, what's interesting after that is that Etheridge goes completely nuts, grabs the kid's arm, starts throwing punches at the camera, and then grabs him round the neck in a kind of mini half Nelson, while these kids are trying to say, "What are you doing? What's going on? We're only asking a question." Now, in the 24 hours since this came out, we learned the fact that the government immediately got hold of it and started issuing talking points on how the corporate media should debunk this story. And just like the castrated little sheep that they are, you know, people like Chris Matthews, MSNBC, and those that work at the Washington Post and the rest of the establishment neo-lib blogosphere, immediately clicked their heels and started following these orders in trying to dismiss this video confrontation with the congressman as some kind of partisan stunt, and even going to the lens of not only absolving Etheridge of blame, but trying to tell us basically that down is up, and that it was Etheridge, not the college kids who asked him a question and were assaulted, but it was Etheridge that was attacked and assaulted by the college kids who merely asked him a question. I mean, let's get one thing clear. To the corporate media who followed their orders dutifully, like the castrated sheep they are, you're not going to make this go away by trying to take the focus away from Etheridge's bizarre control freak behaviour. This guy's supposed to be a public servant, so you're not going to be able to demonise people who ask questions of public servants by claiming it's all a Republican stunt and that it's contrived and invented, which is exactly what they're now trying to do through these White House talking points that have gone out to the media. I don't even care if these kids were Republican Party operatives. That's not the issue. The issue is that Etheridge, this establishment neo-lib, is acting like a nutcase on a power trip, and his behaviour is emblematic of how our representatives see us as basically turds on a sidewalk that they can treat like crap, when in reality they're public servants. We'll play the video. We'll get into how the media's spinning this after the break. This is the Alex Jones Show. I'm Paul Joseph Watson. Stay tuned. Alex will be back tomorrow. Now, we're talking about this confrontation between the college kids and this Congressman Bob Etheridge, which is causing debate across the political spectrum. And basically what we've learned in the 24 hours since this emerged as a news story from Andrew Breitbart's Big Government website is the fact that the White House, a Democratic Party official, put out these talking points where he was basically ordering the media to try and spin this confrontation in which Etheridge physically assaults these people who asked him if he was supporting the Obama agenda. They put out these talking points mandating the corporate media to spin this as a contrived partisan setup in an attempt to discredit it. Now, I'm afraid it's just not going to work, because you're never going to take attention and focus away from what the story is, the heart of it, which is Etheridge's bizarre, insane reaction, his ego power trip to merely being asked a question. You're just not going to spin it by saying it's a Republican setup, because as you've seen and heard as listeners of the Alex Jones Show over the past several years, neocons have been confronted in exactly the same way. Remember David Frum. This is the guy that wrote Bush's Axis of Evil speech. This is the guy who was confronted by We Are Change members back in 2008 when they asked him about 9/11. And if you watch the clip, which is on the website, Frum behaved almost exactly the same way as Etheridge did in this new video clip. You know, he's swatting away the camera, he's assaulting the people asking the questions, he's pushing them away. So I don't care who's being confronted, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, and I don't care who's asking the questions. The key issue is the reaction of the individual being confronted. And you have to ask why the establishment's in such a blind panic over this story. And it's because they're petrified that a couple of college kids with a flip camera can change the course of a state election. I mean, you're not going to turn reality on its head by claiming that Etheridge was being attacked and assaulted by these kids, which is now what they're trying to do. Etheridge, in the 24 hours since this emerged as a news story, has been forced to issue an apology for his behaviour in the incident. And yet Democrats and the libtard neo-lib establishment are still trying to spin it as a contrived partisan stunt, when Etheridge has already apologised for it. Politico reported last night that this Democratic Party official was sending out a set of talking points, and it said, quote, "Push hard with blogs the lack of credibility inherent to anything Breitbart does or posts, given its role in the debunked Acorn videos." And so this is a memo from the government going out to the corporate media and the neo-lib blogs telling them how to respond to this incident. And you'd think it would be an uphill struggle because, you know, Etheridge has already apologised, he's already accepted blame for it, and yet they're still trying to make out as if the kids asking him the question were the ones engaging in ambush journalism, and even one blog suggests that these kids asking the question were in fact attacking Etheridge and he was defending himself. I mean, you've seen the clip. He's got the kid by the neck. He's almost strangling him in a kind of half Nelson for a second. And it's just amazing how quickly the mainstream media followed orders. And we had this coordinated spin, which centered mainly, as you would expect, around Chris Matthews and other hosts on MSNBC. We've got the Chris Matthews clip linked up in the article today on prisonplanet.com, in which, again, he tries to undermine the people who asked the question by claiming that the congressman was ambushed, and he doesn't even mention the fact that he was physically grappling and assaulting with this young student who asked the question. And we're going to exemplify this now by playing an MSNBC clip in which they cite so-called Democrats as blasting the people allegedly behind this video. So they're trying to create this notion that the people to blame for this confrontation are the kids who were asking him the question. So listen to this spin from MSNBC. This is a 2-minute clip. There's a pause in the middle, but it's only for a few seconds. So we'll go to this MSNBC clip now.
And North Carolina Representative Bob Etheridge is apologizing for a video that is all over the internet. People are buzzing about it. The video shows him confronted by two cameramen as he leaves a fundraiser.
Do you fully support the Obama agenda?
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Oh, whoa. Who are you?
I'm here for a project, sir.
Tell me who
project, sir.
Who are you? Please let go of my arm,
Sir.
Who are you?
Sir, please.
Congressman,
Sir.
please let go of me. Who are you?
Okay.
So in a written statement just a short time ago, the congressman said, quote, I deeply and profoundly regret my reaction, and I apologize to all involved throughout my many years of service to the people of North Carolina. I've always tried to treat people from all viewpoints with respect, no matter how intrusive and partisan our politics can become. This does not justify a poor response. I have and will always work to promote a civil public discourse. Meanwhile, though, there are some Democrats that are blasting the people allegedly behind this video. It first appeared on Andrew Breitbart's conservative blog, biggovernment.org. Breitbart, you might recall, was partly responsible for that notorious Acorn video featuring conservative James O'Keefe when he dressed as a pimp. After a separate video project, O'Keefe pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor for entering Senator Mary Landrieu's office